You might be chronically dehydrated without even realizing it. Just a 1 to 2% drop in body water can trigger brain fog, slow reaction times, and drain energy. Coffee, flights, aircon, and processed foods make it worse, leaving many high performers starting the day at a disadvantage. Your business relies on you being able to make quick, accurate decisions, but the constant travel, the late nights, the pressure leaves you battling brain fog, poor focus, and low energy. The fitness industry tells you to fix this with hydration drinks loaded with shit that wrecks your gut and in turn your brain and your nervous system. The truth is, you are not broken. You've simply been given the wrong advice. In the next 12 minutes, I'm going to reveal the quick and simple morning routine that will restore your focus, energy, and clarity before your day even begins. This is the Sunrise Power Up Protocol. This is episode 2 of our 6-part mini-series in which I'm going to show you exactly how to build a $1 million body. That is a body that feels, looks, and can make $1 million. Now, admittedly, that's an arbitrary number. Because with inflation, cost of living, maybe it should be $100 million. But ultimately, the most important message is this is for people who are high performers, for founders, for executives, people that have money, but very little time. Unlike the young bucks, the gym bros, who can do all the meal planning and spend hours in the gym every day, it's not for you. So, last episode was really an overview of what's to come. But this one today is where we get into the tactics. And how we start the day determines how the rest of the day will be. This episode is the Sunrise Power Up Protocol. That is really a fancy way of saying how to hydrate. So, let me run you through my morning routine, which takes about 2 minutes. I know, shock horror. There's no ice baths. There's no excessive meditation or journaling. I don't do any of that stuff. What I do is when you wake up, before you do anything else, you have some water with a pinch of salt. Not table salt. So it could be Himalayan pink salt or sea salt that has minerals in it. Because hydration flows where sodium goes. That's what helps us to absorb it. Now I'm going to bring your attention to the whiteboard now, because we're about to understand how much water we need and why we need that water. So let's go to the tablets. Excuse my art skills, I'm going to do my best. Let's go with black. Now, I'm going to draw a picture of a man. Let's start with a woman first. So, this is a woman. My interpretation of a woman. I've seen a few. That's a woman, right? I'm going to give her a skirt and 2 legs. Now, look at the size of her. Right? Compare that to a man. I'm not going to go excessive here. You know, we always think like men, 6 foot is kind of the marker, but average height of a man in the island anyway is only 5'8". So yeah, shout out to the short kings. So you cannot just generalize and say everybody needs to drink 8 glasses of water a day. Because it depends on whether you're a male or if you're a female. Men carry more muscle than women. Women carry more fat than men. Women are generally smaller than men. This makes a big difference. So what we recommend in our system is to drink 0.5, so 0.5 ounces per pound of body weight. This is what we should be drinking. So take, for example, right, you are a 160-pound man. You should be drinking at least 80 ounces of water a day. Now, doing that all in one go is not very efficient, because that means you're not going to absorb that water. And maybe even the term ounces feels foreign to you. So if you enjoy the odd pint, which I do now and again, you might have a pint glass in your house. So 80 ounces of water is 5 pints. And what you need to do is split that up throughout the day. So let me show you what I mean. Now, let's just move this across to one side. Okay. Let's say, for example, you wake up at 6 a.m. and you go to bed at 8 p.m. So we want to divide this. So you have your first pint first thing in the morning with a pinch of sea salt. That's really, really important. This is before your coffee. Okay. And then that's pint one. And then between 6 a.m. and 8 p.m., you want to be drinking your 5 pints. So you're going to divide these. We're going to say like another pint there, another pint there, another pint there, another pint there, right? And what I tried to do is I tried to have most of my water at the first half of the day. So this line represents lunch. Because if you drink water too close to the end of the day, this could really affect your sleep, i.e. getting up, having to go to the loo. So at the start of the day, have your water at intervals in between your food. So here you have breakfast. Here you have brunch. Don't drink water with your meals, because this messes with your digestive enzymes. It dilutes them, and therefore you don't digest the food as well. Have the drink that is water in between meals, and make sure that by the end of the day, when you have I'm not saying bedtime is 8 p.m. I'm saying your last bit of water is 8 p.m. because you want to leave an hour, maybe even 2 hours between the last time you have water and the time you go to sleep. That's really going to help, because especially as men get older as well, you may have, if it hasn't happened to you yet, experienced that you need to go to the loo anyway more during the night time. So don't put unnecessary pressure on your bladder. Okay. Now, speaking of your bladder, here's how to know how much, if you're drinking enough water or too much. Because there's a very simple way to tell. Now, this is a little bit crass, but it's going to really show you in simple ways how much hydration you're getting. Right, I'm going to use the color yellow. This is your wee-wee. Okay, so here is one shade of yellow. Then I'm going to go a little bit lighter. Let's go with this one. Right, that one. And then we'll go a little bit darker if we can. Now, go away you. Okay, so we have 3 different shades here. If you are this shade when you go for a wee-wee, I say wee-wee because I have 3 children under the age of 5, then you are either drinking too much water or you're not putting enough salt in your water. Basically, your body is overhydrated. Okay, if you're this shade, you're dehydrated, and that means you're not getting enough water. The wee is too dark. So the sweet spot, and we'll give it a little tick, let's make it green, is here. This is what we want when we go to the toilet. Every time we have a wee, I know it's very tempting to I do it myself. Look at your phone when you're on the toilet or going to the toilet. But if you can, actually look at your urine and see what color is it, what shade of yellow is it. That's really going to tell you. It's going to tell you how hydrated you are. Now, the last thing to say, because how long can you talk about wee for, is hydration makes up most of your body. Water makes up most of your body. So when you're dehydrated, this drastically affects your vital organs and your brain as well. So the lack of energy you're feeling, the brain fog you're feeling, the hunger you're feeling is often not because you need more food, it's you need more water. You need more hydration. So if you're thinking, okay, I need to start having like energy drinks. So say, for example, Lucozade or Gatorade, these types of things that promote electrolytes. Electrolytes is just sodium, magnesium, calcium, potassium. That's all it is. So you can buy electrolyte powder if you wish. Right? It's very, very cheap, and put that in your water as well. But what's even cheaper and more readily available is salt. So add salt to your water. Make sure it's sea salt. You need this when you're moving from a processed foods diet into a whole foods diet, because all of that processed food you had before has sodium already in it to preserve it. But now you're eating whole foods, you need to add the sodium to make sure your body is getting the hydration that it needs. And just watch the difference it makes, how much more energy you have throughout the day, especially making sure you're front loading your day with your hydration. That's it. And if you enjoyed that, then the next piece of this puzzle is going to be up here in this corner. And that's where we're talking about our easy eating system. More nutrition. Hope that helped.